Let me tell you a story about a country you might not be thinking about. Japan. Japan hasn't been a big deal since really the 90s, since I was a kid. But back when I was a kid, everyone was talking about Japan. It was the land of the future, the land of robots. And yet now, Japan seems to be forgotten. Everybody's talking about China. Everyone's talking about India and these other countries. But did you know that Japan was the start of a lot of American business international expansion? In today's video, I want to talk about some companies that went into Japan first and used it as their stepping stone to the rest of the world. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe because you'll love the other content on this channel. Like this video, leave a comment down below with a Apple emoji to represent Apple, the company, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's go. So here is your list of companies that made it big in Japan. The first one is the Walt Disney Company. Did you know that Tokyo Disneyland was the first Disneyland park outside of the United States? It opened in 1983, marking a significant expansion in Disney's international theme park operations. Now, they operate all around the world, but it started in Japan. When it first opened, Tokyo Disneyland was the subject of criticism due to the absence of a ton of iconic Disney characters. This was due to licensing issues, but it still quickly gained popularity, and it's now the third most visited theme park in the world. Tokyo. People are sleeping on Japan. Next up is Starbucks. Starbucks opened its first store outside North America in Tokyo, Japan in 1996. You see Starbucks everywhere in the world now, but it started in Japan. Japan is now Starbucks' fourth largest market with more than 1,500 stores across the country. By the way, to cater to Japanese tastes, Starbucks in Japan serves a whole bunch of unique stuff like the Sakura Blossom Cream Frappuccino, which is available only during the cherry blossom season. They also introduced the green tea Frappuccino in Japan, which then became a staple of their menu all around the world. Next up is Apple. Did you know that the first Apple store outside the US opened in Tokyo in 2003? And recently, Apple's revenue in Japan crossed $22 billion. Again, people are sleeping on Japan. People think Japan's economy is in the trash. These companies are killing it here. To stand out in the technologically advanced Japanese market, the Apple Store in Ginza offered a unique feature, which is a theater for free workshops and presentations. This was a concept that was new and exciting at the time, and now it's in Apple stores all around the world. Next up is Netflix. When it came time to break into Asia, did Netflix launch in China first? No, it launched in Japan as its first Asian market in 2015. And as of 2021, Netflix had 4.5 million subscribers in Japan. Netflix also produced its first ever original anime series called Knights of Sidonia in Japan, which demonstrated its commitment to catering to the Japanese audience, and actually local audiences in general, which then influenced their entire strategy worldwide. Then there's Uber. Uber has been working on its expansion in Japan since 2018. However, as of recently, they've yet to be fully adopted into Japan due to regulatory hurdles and strong competition. These local taxi services don't go down without a fight out here. In contrast to many other markets, Uber in Japan only provides its service using licensed taxi drivers due to local regulations. And when I was in Japan 3 months ago, it was hard to find an Uber, but as of right this second, Uber is everywhere and it's easy to book an Uber within minutes. So Uber is back. Next is McDonald's. Did you know that McDonald's opened its first restaurant outside of the Americas in Japan in 1971? There are more than 2,900 McDonald's outlets in Japan as of 2021, and that number is growing. McDonald's Japan once introduced a limited edition adult cream pie, which caused a stir due to the name's double entendre in English. But it didn't mean anything in Japanese. This highlighted cultural differences in marketing, and it taught McDonald's to be more careful next time. Although, I wish I could get the adult cream pie. Then there's Amazon. Amazon launched its online marketplace in Japan, and as of recently, Amazon was the most popular shopping app in Japan with approximately 20 million users. When Amazon Japan first launched, some Japanese customers were reluctant to use credit cards online due to security reasons. Amazon overcame this hurdle by offering a cash-on-delivery payment option, which they've also used in India and certain countries around the world. But that learning started in Japan. Then there's Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza opened its first Asian market store in Japan in 1985, and now there's 300 Domino's Pizza outlets around the country. Domino's Japan once launched a promotion promising free pizza for life to anyone who had a tattoo of the company's logo, but had to limit it to the first 350 people after an overwhelming number of Japanese people got the Domino's logo tattooed on them. Then there's clothing store Gap. Gap opened its first store in Asia in Japan in 1995 as well. And now there are over 100 Gap stores in Japan. One time, Gap Japan launched a campaign called Remade in Japan in 2012, where they hired local designers to create unique pieces using old Gap clothing, which emphasized sustainability and local taste. Then there's Taco Bell. Taco Bell re-entered the Japanese market in 2015 after a hiatus. And as of recently, there's only a handful of Taco Bell locations in Japan. But upon its re-entry, Taco Bell Japan introduced a shrimp and avocado burrito, which was a unique offering tailored to the Japanese taste. The fact that they failed in Japan and came back again just speaks to how powerful an economy Japan still is, despite everything you might have heard in the news about its decline. Then there's Costco. Costco expanded into Japan in 1999, and as of right now, there are 30 plus locations in Japan. Costco Japan offers a shrimp cracker, a snack unique to the Japanese market, demonstrating its ability to cater to local tastes. Japanese people love shrimp. At least that's what American corporations think. And it's gotta be true, right? Japanese people love shrimp. Let me know down below if you're Japanese and you love shrimp. Comment the shrimp emoji. Then there's Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut opened its first restaurant in Asia in Japan in the 1970s. And as of right now, there are over 300 Pizza Hut locations in Japan. Pizza Hut in Japan offers unique flavors like a Bulgogi pizza and seafood mix pizza, reflecting local culinary preferences. I don't know what's in the seafood mix, but I'm assuming it's shrimp. Then there's Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has been present in Japan since 1957, and as of recently, Japan is one of the largest markets for Coca-Cola outside the US. Coca-Cola Japan once introduced a unique product called Coca-Cola Plus, which is a zero-calorie Coke with dietary fiber, demonstrating its innovative approach to cater to the health-conscious Japanese market. That sounds pretty good. Then there's eBay. eBay entered the Japanese market in 2000, but withdrew in 2002. It then came back in 2018. And as of right now, their market share remains small due to fierce competition from local platforms. Upon its reentry, eBay Japan primarily focused on cross-border trade, allowing Japanese customers to buy from international sellers. Then there's Pepsi. We talked about Coke, let's talk about Pepsi. Pepsi's been operating in Japan for decades, and as of recently, it holds a significant market share in Japan's soft drink market, though it trails behind Coca-Cola. So that Coke versus Pepsi war is going on in Japan. Pepsi's introduced a bunch of unique flavors of Pepsi in Japan as well, including Pepsi Sakura, a cherry blossom flavored Pepsi, highlighting its effort to cater to local tastes. While all these companies haven't been extremely successful in Japan, this just speaks to what you need to do to break into Asia. There's a reason why all of these companies come to Japan, and it was interesting to know. I'm sharing it with you because I didn't know this. I didn't know that Starbucks' first location was in Japan. Let me know down below, what did you not know, and what do you want to know about in the future? These crazy facts are getting me off right now. I'm really loving sharing these crazy facts. Make sure to subscribe down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.